Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at a LEGO Star Wars set, which is set number 75386. The Vizsla and Moff Gideon battle with 289 pieces. This set is 7+. Comes with Vizsla, Moff Gideon, and 2 Imperial Praetorian Guards. And here's a look at the back of the box, which shows the play features of this set. And here's a look at the top of the box showing the Moff Gideon figure. Now let's open this set. This is using the anti-thumb tab technique, so you just slice right over the thumb tabs, which does help from the box being destroyed. And you can see it is a little bit tricky, but you will preserve your box if you do it right. Opening it on up, you can see there are a few bags. There are 3 bags in total, instructions, and a sticker sheet. Here's a look at that sticker sheet. You can see there's some nice details. Here's a look at the instruction booklets. There is a QR code for the Lego.com app. The first figure we're going to be taking a look at is Moff Gideon, and this is a very, very good figure. Technically, it is exclusive with a different back piece and a different helmet print. But here's a look at the legs, which look fantastic, and it just looks so, so good. From the torso to the gun even, you can see how that's built here. Particularly like the use of the 1x1 orange transparent plate to represent the gun firing, which is very, very nice, especially for display. And you can just attach that. On the box, it kind of shows him holding it with 2 hands, which is a little bit finicky, but I mean, it looks cool. You can turn his head also to get him look like he's firing. But the figure itself, you can see there's a black head under the helmet. Here's a look at the helmet with some nice detail, which again is exclusive. And here is a look at under the chest piece. Here's a look at the backpack, which is different from the old Vizsla figure. And the torso, you can see here, it looks very, very nice. There's some detailing that you wouldn't see otherwise if you had the chest piece on. Here's a look at the back of the torso. And here's a look at the chest piece, which looks fantastic. You can see there's the Mandalorian logo right there. Here's a look at the other shoulder that doesn't have any printing. You can see him with the backpack. And just putting that on. Next 2 figures, we have the Praetorian Guards, which do look very, very nice. They both have different accessories. Other than that, they are the same figure, and this figure does look very, very good. You can see there is a red head, which I would prefer to be black because it's more accurate. I will say the printing's very nice in the helmet. Here's a look at the back of the torso. Lastly, we have Moff Gideon, who is my favorite figure. He just looks fantastic. He's very accurate, and the printing is fantastic. The helmet piece is also very, very good, very accurate. Here's a look at the jetpack, which is a printed piece, and it looks very nice. Another cool part about this figure is that you are able to take the helmet off and switch out his face for the actual Moff Gideon head. And there is a spare hair accessory included, so you can attach that on, and it looks very, very good. Here's a closer look at that, and you can just see it looks so much like Moff Gideon, particularly the actor that played him. And there is another head expression, which is him a bit more angry. Let's look at the back printing, which looks very good. Taking a look at the model itself, it does look very good, like a display piece. However, it is very small. However, I don't really like the rock panels they used here, the big, ugly rock panels. Here's a look at the top of the set, and you can see there is a light post here, which I'm not sure why they added, but it is a fun detail. And there are some buttons to operate the door, and the door itself looks very, very good. I just love putting this together. There are some cool techniques. Here's a look at this little crate, which actually has some detonators on the inside, which is very fun. Unfortunately, placing the minifigures is a bit tricky, simply because there's not enough space for them. I think the set should have been bigger, especially to include the 3rd Praetorian Guard to make it more accurate, but it is a tight fit, and you can see it's just kind of hard to maneuver them around. Definitely not very good for play, because you need to be able to get your hands in there and move them around, and you just cannot do that. Unfortunately, it's just way too crowded. There is also some room for a minifigure over here by this big ugly rock panel. You can also put whoever you want here. Over here, there's a red button, which I'm not really sure what it's for, but it's a nice detail. And there is a little attachment point for the Mandalorian Battle Pack, which can connect to the set. And there is another attachment point here. Overall, this set is a pretty good display model, but unfortunately, the roof did not get that treatment because it is just unfinished. Stuff that should have been tiled off is just not. Here's a look at the turret, which you can spin around, and of course, you can put Moff Gideon in it, and here's a look at that. It's very simple to do, and you can spin them around. And of course, you are able to shoot these stud shooters. Here's a look at that. And I actually caught this one. You are also able to take this off for extra storage. You can see the extra green studs in there. And you can also detach it if you want, have it being its own little build. Here's a look at the secret room there. And you can see there is a place to hold one of the Praetorian Guard's weapons. There is also a sticker detail, and you are able to put Moff Gideon in there to operate the panel, which of course is a reference to the Imperial Light Cruiser from the Lego Mandalorian set, which also includes Moff Gideon. Moving on to the main function itself, you can move up the gate, and you can put some more figures under that, which is pretty neat for extra space. Something I forgot to mention is that there is some sticker detailing for the door frame, which looks pretty good. And pressing down here will actually shut the gate, which is a cool feature. Here's another look at that. Overall, I think this is a pretty good set. For $40, I do think it is overpriced, but it does include some very, very good figures, especially the Paz Vizsla and Moff Gideon. Unfortunately, there is not enough room in the set for all the figures, but there's some nice play features. I particularly like the hidden features in this set. Overall, since I don't think it's worth $40, I'd wait till the set is on discount. Alright, everyone, that's going to do it for this video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Lego, let's create and dream. Together we will build a wondrous thing. Piece by piece we will make magic, you will see. In our Lego